All right, we are building off of what we've been doing. What geologists have discovered with relative dating and looking at these layers of rocks and observing the fossils within these rocks is they've been able to put together a timescale of life on Earth and of what's occurred on Earth. So this is just one page of the geologic timescale. There is one other page that we won't get into this year, but you will see a lot next year. It's important to see that we break down time into different categories. So eons is the largest category. Eons is broken down into Phanerozoic, and then here we have Proterozoic and Archean, which we're not really that concerned about with this lesson. I want us to focus in on the Phanerozoic eon. As you can see, the Phanerozoic eon is broken down into 3 eras. So the first era, and let's use red for this, is the Cenozoic era. Okay, so this top era, which is actually the most current era that we live in, is the Cenozoic. Before the Cenozoic was the Mesozoic era. Again, these are all part of the Phanerozoic eon. And then before the Mesozoic era was the Paleozoic era. Okay? If you want to know the time that these eras occurred, right? We know that the Cenozoic happened at it's up to 0 million years ago, meaning it's up to today's date, which is the present date. But it began at, it's hard to see in this video, but you can see it easily on your page when you zoom in. It began 65.5 million years ago, right? That's where we had extinction of dinosaurs. But it goes all the way up until today's date, the current date. Now, the Mesozoic began 65.5 million years ago, but ended 251 million years ago, right? Again, we can see events over here in this column. Now, the Paleozoic started 251 years ago, ended 251 years ago, but began 542 million years ago. Now, the eras are also broken down into periods, which is like smaller parts of the eras, right? For example, the Cretaceous period is a part of the Mesozoic era, which is a part of the Phanerozoic eon, right? The Devonian is a part of the Paleozoic era, which, if you follow those black lines, is a part of the Phanerozoic eon. All of these periods are a part of the Phanerozoic, as you can see with these black lines guiding us to the specific eon, right? The epochs or the epochs, I'm not actually quite sure the exact pronunciation. I say epochs are even more specific and even smaller time periods. You can see they're pretty clear in this column. I'm not going to go through that because I'm pretty sure you get it. Here where it says life on Earth, you can see what's happening in these time periods. So use this column to figure out what's happening. I know I scribbled all over this, but you can see the exact years in this column over here. We're going to ignore these for now, but you'll actually see this a little bit more clearly, these fossil examples, a little bit more clearly in the supporting diagram, which is following the image of the reference table here to support you when you see fossils in today's lesson.